Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are going to be talking about how to captivate a guy with your feminine energy. I'm going to be using examples. So if you are having a date with a guy or you're talking to a guy and you met a guy that you like, how do you captivate him and make him want you more, or have him thinking about you at the end of the night? One of the things is, if it's a first date or you're just meeting him, is that you just don't want to give off too much information about yourself. Start with the basics. Don't be so cut off, but don't over talk. This was something I've done in the past a lot, is that I would over talk and share too much information. And sometimes I still catch myself doing that depending on who I'm talking to or how I feel. But if I really want to, captivate this person, I don't really give too much details about myself. And a way of doing that is by letting him do all the talking. Because if you really think about it, someone who's able to kind of release and just talk and kind of talk about themselves, talk about who they are, it feels good to have a listening ear. Anyone that, if you've ever been around a person and they just over talk so much where they drain all your energy and you just kind of get a little bored hearing about this one person the whole time. So therefore, when you're engaging with this conversation with this guy, is that you want to make sure that you are more so listening to him, because men are not able to vent out a lot of things. So you want to just let him know that you're here, you're a helping ear to listen, but don't listen to ex-girlfriends or complaints of baby mamas or anything like that. That is not what you're there for. Redirect the conversation to something else. He start talking about something depressing, redirect the conversation to something else, because you are not his counselor. You are a helper. If that is something that you will want for a potential partner, you are his helper, not his leg to stand on and his crutch. That's a difference. You don't want to be a man's crutch. You want to be his helping hand. So therefore, kind of redirect the conversation to more so him, positive things, and have him, talk about certain memories or whatever, and just listen and just be very engaging. And being very engaging is asking him questions. And when he asks you questions, you answer very shortly. Laugh about it if it's something funny. Don't go too deep. Don't start talking about your ex-boyfriends, because that's something I've done in the past where I was venting to these men, and that is just not a good look. It's not feminine. It's just something like, it's destroying your feminine energy, because when you come off as bitter or resentful or angry about something, not to say that you can't eventually talk about those things, but just not on the first date, and not on when you're first meeting somebody and you're really trying to make an impression on them. Those are things you just don't want to talk about right off back. Okay, this is one of the biggest thing, is your aura. Your aura is so important. I cannot put enough emphasis on this. Your aura has to be positive, and you have to have a positive aura about yourself, and smile. Like when you're just sitting there serious with the resting bitch face, which is something that I definitely used to have, I still do, but I'm very aware of it now, is that men love a smile. Men love a good smile. He loves, men, that's why they're always asking women annoyingly to smile, because it's something so feminine and soft and welcoming when you smile. So when you smile and he's saying things, you just, oh, okay. Oh, or you laugh, or, he says something funny, you're like, oh, like that is something that is very attractive to men. And he's just going to be like, oh my God, like her smile is just, like, it makes him feel good. You ever look at somebody and they smile at you, or they laugh and you kind of like feel compelled to laugh or smile as well? That's the energy that you want to give. It's something so feminine about it, and it makes him kind of soften up as well. Masculine men love to, kind of feel in touch with their feminine side, a soft side, by feeding off your energy in a way. And it's by doing that, just being positive and laughing and smiling and just feeling really good inside. If you're feeling insecure, like, that is going to come off he's gonna feel that. You're gonna end up slipping up saying something where you're like, oh my god, I look so ugly, or oh my god, like, you know, my hair. Don't mention anything or any of your flaws. Even if you have a huge pimple on your face, like, do not point it out. I went on a date with a pimple on my face. I didn't say anything about it. He didn't even notice it. Like, who cares? Like, we're human. They're so captivated by your smile and by your eyes. Your eyes and smile is probably the most important thing on your face, because men are very, 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 very visual. I cannot emphasize that enough as well, that men are very visual. So, you know, you want to be well put together, and you want to captivate him with your eyes, and you want to captivate him with your smile. And just speak very softly. Don't laugh too loud. Also, you know, if you're meeting him, don't get too drunk. Don't drink too much. Don't do too much. Like, you know, this is how you captivate your feminine energy. Also, another thing is when he's talking to you, make eye contact, ladies. I know sometimes it's hard, even with me. Like, as example, you see how I'm staring at the camera, and then sometimes I look off and then I stare back at the camera. Like, do that. When you look at them and you give them that look, that is something a man is just very turned on by. They're like, wow, like, ooh, like that look you're giving me. And it's just like, what look am I giving you? Like, what look am I giving you? You know, and they're like, I don't know, but it's just so important. And I knew making eye contact was so important. It was when I went out to eat with a guy before, and he was just like staring deep into my eyes, where I was sucked in. It was like he was an incubus or something, and I was just like, oh my god, like, it just felt so intense, and I felt very intense. Like, I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what this energy is, but it was a very intense energy, but in like a good way. And he was giving me this eye contact, and I was just like, whatever he's doing to me, I want to do it to others, because he had me thinking about him that whole freaking day. When he was looking at me in my eyes, and just was just, it wasn't like a creepy look. It was just so captivating, and it was just like, he just did it so perfectly. And I was like, oh, I gotta steal that. I gotta steal that from him, and I do it to this day. I do it just naturally. I just look in people's eyes and while they're talking, you know, and you can actually kind of tell if a man is insecure or not by looking them in their eyes, because every time you look in their eyes, they look away, or they look this way and they look that way, and it's just, ugh, such a turn off. And that also kind of gives a sign that you may not even want to talk to this person if they can't even look you in your eye longer than 2 seconds. You know, or longer than a second. Like, some guys can't even, some people in general can't even stare you in your eye for longer than a second. So that just says a lot about that person and what their intentions are, especially when they're talking about something. You can kind of tell if they're like lying about it or not, just by how they are looking at you. So another thing that's very feminine is when you're talking to him, kind of touch him a little bit, kind of, you know, touch him on like the leg or the thigh or the knee. Nothing that's too sexual. Don't be all in his crotch area, unless that's something that you're trying to do that night. But when you kind of put your hand on their arm while they're talking about something, or you laugh and then you just touch them. I'm a very touchy-feely person, so this is just natural for me. I just unknowingly do it, and it's something about that feminine touch and that womanly touch, and it just kind of makes them feel good when you touch them, of course, and it just makes it a little bit more intimate. So he's also going to be thinking like, oh, I want her to touch me a little bit more, or I miss her touches, or I miss her laugh, I miss her smile, I miss her eyes. Another thing that is very, very, very important is smelling good. I am leveling up on my smells. Like, I had got some expensive perfume. Like right now, I love the Chanel that I have. You just want to make sure you smell good. So you want to just spray like on like your like wrists, and put it on your neck area, and, you know, glimmer a bit as well. You want to show off your shoulders. Like, the visuals of it all is very feminine. Like, your neck and your collarbone is a very feminine thing. I'm gonna move my hair back for a minute. But, you know, if you have this, embrace that, baby. Like, embrace it, because men, they love this this right here. And just make sure your skin is soft. Like, if you're about to go on a date, or you're going out about where you could potentially meet a guy, you need to exfoliate every time you're in the shower. If you have rough skin or whatever, make sure you're exfoliating, make sure you moisturize, make sure you're putting on jojoba oil or some type of oil that makes your skin soft and nice and not all greasy and just like gross, but like, you know, soft and nice. Just take care of your skin, ladies. It's so important, because when a man puts his arm around you, he does not want to feel all this roughness. I mean, if you have very, very, very hairy arms, then you may want to invest into like waxing or shaving that, because men are very, like I said, they're very visual, and they like, if they like how you feel, they're gonna think about that as well. Thank God genetically I have soft skin, but I definitely exfoliate. Like I exfoliate, I put on oils, I put on lotion, I put on lotion that's like for dry skin. Even though I don't have dry skin, I still put on lotion for dry skin, because it just really deeply penetrates your skin, and you just want to make sure that, you know, your skin is just nice and soft. So when they touch you, it's just like, oh my God, you have nice, like, you know, soft skin. And then it also looks very glowy when you put on, like, you know, the light, when the light reflects on your skin. That's also like, oh wow, wow, she looks amazing, like I just want to touch her, or you know, want to hold her or hug her or something. So that's also very important. But smelling good is very, 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 very important, ladies. Like, you want to smell good, because there is nothing like a good smelling man. Like, when a man passed me up, it doesn't care if he is bad looking, you will capture my attention. I don't care if you are not my type, if you are not that attractive to me personally, I'm gonna be like, ooh, God, you smell amazing. I've definitely told men like they smell really good. I don't know what that is, but it just made me feel compelled to like tell them that they smell good. So smelling good for anybody, it's just a basic human thing. Like, you just want to make sure that you are smelling good, and you don't want to put on necessarily body sprays, because, you know, if you're in high school, that's one thing, but we're talking about grown women here, and you want to smell like a grown woman. You do not need to be spraying yourself with Bath and Body Works or Victoria's Secret sprays. I'm sorry, but after a while, it just smells cheap, and you want to just invest. And how you can invest, you can get the small ones, you can get the roll-on ones, and, you know, just put it on when you're going out for special occasions. You have to put it on every day, but when you know where you're going to be out and about, where you could potentially meet somebody, or going out on a date, or, you know, going out where you're going to be talking to other men, or potentially, you just want to make sure you smell really good. And expensive perfumes, like, just invest in yourself, and that is one way you can invest, is by getting that. And like I said, you don't want to spend too much money. You can get the roll-ons for like $30. They smell the same, like it doesn't make a difference. That is very important as well, because they're gonna be like, wow, like you smell really good, and you'd be like, oh, thank you, like you like the way this smell. And they're gonna be like, you know, they're gonna come in a little closer and smell you, and they're gonna remember that smell. So every time they think about you, they're gonna remember the smell, they're gonna remember the touch, they're gonna remember, you know, how you made them feel. And that is how you know, captivate a man and be memorable to him. He's gonna be like, man, out of all the girls, like, wow, like, it's just something about her. She's mysterious, she's this, she's that, she smells good, she takes care of herself, she feels good. Like, I want more of that, I want more of that, I want more of that. I'm thinking about it, I want more of that. I want to be closer to her, I want her. Trust me, it definitely works. So these are my tips that I wanted to give you guys, how to captivate a man. So next time you go on a date with a guy, use these tips, and comment below and come back to this video and let me know, did it work for you? Did you notice a difference of how men treated you, how they looked at you, how they admired you, how they touched you, how they just couldn't be, you know, you were just irresistible to them? So just go ahead and comment below, but use these tactics. I swear they definitely work. Now to the point, I'm just naturally just doing it. Like, I'm just, you know, these are things that just come natural to me. I don't force it. You definitely don't want to force it. You just want it to be very natural. You just want to be very soft, and you want to bring good energy and good aura, because men remembers that. Like, they remember that, you know, they remember how you made them feel, and they want more of that. Anybody would want more of that. You ever saw a person and they walk in and you're like, ooh, it's just something about that person that's just like, oh, they make me feel good, I want to know more about them. That is the type of energy you want to give off. I'm a very firm believer in energy and aura, and you want to make sure you boost your aura. And how you boost your aura, I have a video of how you cleanse your aura, but how you boost your aura, it's just positive affirmations before you leave the door, feeling good, listening to music while you're getting getting ready, just getting into a good groove and a good feeling before you go out and about, or before you go out on that date, or before you go out with your friends, or go out to a bar or something like that. You just want to make sure that you are feeling good, like, period. That's it. And that's what I do. I do it in my car. I play music. I just get into a very sensual feel. I play music that's very sensual and sexy, and it makes me feel sensual and sexy and confident and beautiful. And listening to stuff like that and just talking to yourself and boosting yourself and telling you look good. Take a couple of pictures before you hit the door and just remind yourself that you are that woman and you are that bitch. Like, so, okay, hopefully this video helps you guys. Comment below if you have any other suggestions or anything that I may have missed out on. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.